If you are expecting me to define challenges in terms of the dynamics of opposition party unity or a possible challenge coming from the political opposition, then I'm afraid I don't have much to add to what would already be known. So I'll put that aside. I think the greatest achievement of the Modi government has been that he has been able to define good governance in terms of good politics. Now, I've been around for a long time. I don't mind throwing that figure at you. I've been in some form of employment for the last 50 years. And I've had the privilege of working not at such close quarters, but different degrees of proximity with earlier prime ministers also. I was a young undersecretary when Mrs. Gandhi was the prime minister. I worked as a joint secretary when Mr. Narasimha Rao was prime minister. I had a privileged working relationship when Vajpayee ji was the prime minister. But I can tell you, of all the prime ministers I've seen, we've never had anyone like Mr. Narendra Modi. And I come back to one basic point. Here is a man, when he became Prime Minister, he had already put in 12 years as a hands-on Chief Minister of a state which faced many challenges and which witnessed economic progress in the real sense of the term. And in the last 8-9 years, he has demonstrated, and I'm not going to reel off those statistics. I was watching my friend and collaborator Amitav reel off some statistics. I can reel off statistics in my two core ministries that I'm associated with. But here is a person who, and your theme is transformation. I look at transformation in terms of something very basic. What did you inherit? And what are you going to bequeath? That, I think, is the paribhasha of transformation. And I can tell you what we saw in 1947, what we saw in 2014, and what we see in 2023. And that is going to be what will be addressed by the Indian electorate in 2024. And I think that is what will be annotated, that is what will be discussed. And I don't think there's any political opposition in terms of groupings or parties which has even a nodding acquaintance with the level of progress and the intensity of progress that the country is registering today.
Okay. Now, Mr. Puri, there's a reason why I asked you about those challenges. You've spoken about a lot of internal challenges, but I'm sure a lot of people must have seen that interview of Hardeep Singh Puri that actually went viral a few days ago. Now, he was asked by the foreign media about whether India had any qualms over purchasing so much oil from Russia. And this is how Minister responded. He says, and I quote him now, "Absolutely none. There is no moral conflict. It's the oil companies who do the buying," unquote. So do you believe, Minister, that there is an attempt right now to guilt trip India?
To?
Guilt trip India. And you actually took them to the cleaners with the kind of response you put out. Is that also a part of the challenge that India is dealing with in the run-up to 2024?
You know, when I was much younger, and that was a long time ago, something I learned from a boss of mine, we asked him, "Sir, are you feeling the pressure?" He says, "My mind is not wired to feel the pressure." And I think that's the Modi mind. I mean, how can you guilt trip India? I mean, we are the world's largest democracy. We are a civilizational democracy. We are the oldest democracy. Our GDP was contributing 25% to global GDP before the advent of our colonial association with a particular country, which we overtook to become the 5th largest economy. As a result of that 190-year-old association, we dropped to 2 or 3% GDP. Today we are rising, and I think with a $3.8 trillion GDP, we are likely to become from the 5th to the 3rd largest economy even before 2030.